So it's just past 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, and I spent the first couple of hours sat at my desk at a computer working and feeling fairly unimpressed and marginally depressed when I'm working at a computer. So I dragged myself away. This here is more like my analog desk. This is where I've got my paper, my note cards, pens, lots of note cards. Over here you can't see my starter Zettelkasten type analog knowledge system here. And I've been sat here for the past half an hour or so, writing some note cards and writing some notes and feeling far more refreshed and like I'm actually achieving something and getting somewhere. And you know what, actually having time to think in this kind of world we live in today. And it just made me, I just wrote some notes here and I thought I'd share them with you about the kind of frustrations of digital life and what we're kind of doing with ourselves at the moment. Whether we'll look back in time in years to come and just think, what on earth were we doing? Because there's just no doubt to me anyway that sitting down with a pen in hand, ideally a fountain pen, and actually writing down notes, analog notes, handwritten notes, is so much different to sat tapping away on a computer or a laptop, PC, whatever you've got. There's just no comparison for me in terms of memory, recall, and just ability to think clearly. So I've been here just making notes about work and stuff, and just suddenly things start to fall into place, and I feel my kind of blood pressure dropping, and I just feel more in the zone. Time slows down, and I don't know if it's just me, but it's certainly there's a big difference. And I kind of made some notes here about sort of digital life, and I don't know if you can kind of see this. I'll zoom in slightly here. Excuse my scrawl of a handwriting, but these sorts of things I was just thinking about you end up with when you're doing the kind of digital stuff. And email tennis is number one. How many hours have I spent? I don't know if you're the same, where you just respond to an email, you get another one back, and it's just this kind of back and forth. And I know we're conscious that if you send an email, it's like a boomerang. It comes back with the reply. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful about CCing people into email they don't need to be involved in. But regardless, in today's day and age, don't get me wrong, I like email. It's got its place. But you can suddenly find time has gone and you've been sat there and you think, what have I done? I've just been sat in my inbox just responding to emails. And, it's one of those things that's both a task list it becomes and a way of communicating. So just dragging yourself away from that is so important. And then it kind of leads on to task lists, which is kind of a never ending, it seems. So no sooner than you finish something, you cross your list and you get a kind of a sort of a adrenaline boost when you've crossed something off your list, and then an email comes in with a new task and you add to it. So it's this treadmill you're on of task lists. Context switching is such a big one. I think at the moment with 2FA, I don't know if other people are finding this, but certainly in my work, we have 2FA for so many apps and things we're using online. So I'm picking my phone, I'm getting text messages in terms of authorization codes to get in and out of applications, and it just breaks your chain of thought. And there's so many studies have been done on when you switch tasks from one to the other. So an email pings, I have mine turned off into the sound, but sometimes you see it through the corner of your eye, something's come in, so you look at it and your chain of thought's gone, and you try and get back to the thing you were doing. Just trying to find sustained periods of time just to do stuff now is so difficult. Hence why, if you can get to an analog desk like this, so different. You can sit down with your pen and your paper and you can just write. A notebook over here, pile of Moleskine notebooks here, or note cards, and you can just be in the zone and think. Fake feeling of accomplishment. That's one thing that I think about digital life is kind of you find that I mentioned sending emails, you feel like you responded to somebody, ticking off a task list, like a kind of a to-do list or whatever you're using, things in Notion or wherever you store your tasks and to-do lists. Then you kind of get this feeling of I've done something, a little boost, like adrenaline boost, and then moments later you've got more to do and it's piling up even further, and you're suddenly you go from 1 second feeling like you're getting somewhere to the next second you're feeling completely overwhelmed, and I hate it. And this links in to get to the end of the day and nothing meaningful has been done. And that's kind of I said and repeat daily is my final point there. And that's the sort of thing, it's that kind of sense of you can have the digital life is one where you're constantly on a treadmill. You're doing, it feels like often fake work. You are not having time to think, you're context switching, so you're losing your train of thought, and you just get to the end of the day and you look back and you think, God, I was really, really busy, but what have I actually done? I've got nothing to show for it. That's why it's so important that you can carve time out in your day, an hour, half an hour, 2 hours, brilliant, but even it's kind of 20 minutes to do something where you actually write down stuff, notes, you make meaningful notes, and you've got something you can look back on, some proper content or something you've written where it's something that will stand the test of time, and you've stepped out of the zone, you found time to think, and that's where the real, I think, magic happens, is when pen touches paper. That, to me, is where, as I say, the real magic happens, not sat tapping away at a keyboard like a lab rat, just pressing go on send of emails, just to sort of feel a sense of accomplishment, like you've done things. That's what it seems like so much of the population is doing now, and it's a real crying shame, and we will have to right the balance and this kind of analog approach, just focusing on this and trying to remind myself to focus on this. And doing these videos is great because it just helps me remember why I'm doing it. And for those of you who are laughing at my handwriting, I have made a recent investment, you'll be pleased to hear. I'm going to work on this over the coming weeks. I will be making notes, of course, on it and practicing, because I would love to have some amazing handwriting, and you can maybe watch the evolution. We'll see. So yeah, there we go. The digital life, move to an analog life. Even if you have to spend quite a lot of time in digital life, like we all do, make sure you build yourself an analog life that goes alongside it for fulfillment. And I hope you found that useful. And thanks for watching.